Hey guys, it's Kay Journey, and I am back today with my Q4 BuJo setup. So what this is basically me tracking week by week exactly how productive I was, and just kind of trying to extrapolate like best methods and what works, what doesn't, and also kind of energy shifts and things like that. So what I'm starting off with is just sorry about the sound of traffic. It's the middle of the day and I live right next to a busy road. Anyway, what I'm starting off with here is actually a 3-month overview of kind of my basic bigger goals. I have most of these written down somewhere else, so this is just kind of for when I'm looking through this, not really as the only place that I'm keeping track of these. I actually kind of debated not doing this at all. In fact, if you watched my last video, I debated not doing this at all because last quarter and the quarter before that, well, I take that back. Last quarter, I really struggled with using my quarterly setup or my bullet journal at all past the first month. I had a lot of fun with it in, I think it was July, setting it up. And then I barely touched it. I barely used it. And I, referenced it like once every couple of weeks to see if I was on track. But for the most part, I didn't use it. In fact, I'm not even setting up monthlies in here anymore because the last 2 months I haven't touched it at all. I set up August and September and I did not use them, not even for a couple of days. So instead of wasting my time in here and continuing with that, I am doing this setup, and then I might do like a gratitude page, but I probably won't use that either because I'd never open this unless I absolutely have to. However, I do want to do my weekly check-ins, and the planner that I'm using right now, the HB90, has a really great like weekly setup, but it doesn't have a weekly check-in. And that's kind of been my thing that was working really well for me that I kind of fell off of, which is like I'd plan my week, and then at the end of the week, I'd do a check-in and I would count points based off of like tasks and things like that, which is what this is set up for. So each of these like little rectangles for the week have like what week it is and then projected points, my actual points, what can I learn from this and how can I implement it next week. And that's what each of those stickers said. So the points are actually like kind of a gamified 12-week year weird thing that I created for myself, where basically each point or each task gets a set of amount of points based on kind of the effort that it takes me, the mental effort that it takes me, and the time that it takes me. So, for instance, creating a YouTube channel is 15 points. And it's because it's a low effort, for the most part, thing for me, low energy. Like for me, creating YouTube videos is not really a chore. For the most part, it's actually just play and fun. And the hardest part about it is doing this voiceover and the editing and things like that. So that's 15 points. So 5 points for filming, 5 points for voiceover and editing, and 5 points for posting and remembering to put all of my links in and things like that. And I have it set up that way because the hardest part for me is the posting and the editing. And the fun part is the filming, which is the part that takes the longest. So I'm trying to balance out effort and time. But I get 5 points for making a phone call because I hate making phone calls so much that if I go, okay, I'm getting the same amount of points for like half hour to an hour's worth of time for this 5-minute thing, I'm going to be able to do it. It's going to help me get over that barrier to entry. Sorry, a bus just stopped. I don't know if you guys heard that. And that barrier to entry is kind of the thing that keeps me scrolling my phone. It keeps me from getting started. Getting started is the problem with me. So like for every scene that I write in the books that I write, I get 5 points per scene. It doesn't matter if that scene is 200 words, which I have some scenes like in really fast paced moments where there's 200 words and I'm jumping to the next perspective. Or if it's 1600 words, which is again, something that I have. So I have these scenes that are variable lengths, but they all get 5 points each because it's the barrier to entry. It's the first about 50 to 100 words that are the hardest part to do because it's jumping into something quote unquote new. It's having to move in a new direction. So even when I'm writing and I'm going, as soon as I jump scenes, it's kind of like almost I have to start over and convince myself to get going again, all over again. So I get 5 points for each of those, no matter how much it takes me. And then like doctor's appointments, I do, excuse me. For doctor's appointments, it's 10 points for things like that. So it really just kind of mostly is to keep it in my head that I'm going to get credit for the things that I do, including all of my mom chores. So I get points for anything that's out of the ordinary. So I get points for, my kid just started to play in drama. So I have to go pick them up in the evenings at 6 o'clock in the evening, like 4 nights a week. And so I get I get 10 points for every time I do that. And basically what this is it's number one, it's incentive to keep going on things. And number two, it's giving myself credit where credit is due, because I have a tendency to only look at the tasks that I didn't get done without looking at all of the other things that were side quests that demanded my attention that weren't part of my plan. So if I'm looking at my plan and I'm like, oh, I want to write 25 scenes this week, and I want to do some editing, and I want to do 2 YouTube videos. And then I look and I've done 1 YouTube video and I've done 13 scenes, and it's dropped down, and then I'm hard on myself and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, I had a really sick kid. I had all these other things. And so this kind of helps me keep that stuff in perspective. The points and the reviews do. So it's really, really useful for kind of keeping me from, number one, bullying myself, but also keeping me engaged and active and wanting to get things done, because I'm in competition with myself. And that is the best kind of competition there is, as far as I'm concerned. Being able to beat myself at something is like one of the best feelings in the world. In fact, I think I just figured out that's why I like the editing process of writing a book more than I like the drafting process, because I like being able to go back and be like, oh, I can do this so much better, and being in competition with writing me to write it better. So anyway, weird, quirky side quest there. So this setup, I actually got this washi tape from Michael's. I love it. I got it on sale. It's really pretty. And then the stickers I actually just made in Google Sheets. I just set up a Google Sheet, created these stickers, and then I printed them out and cut them out. I'm not pulling out my Cricut for stickers anymore. It's just too much of a hassle. It takes up too much space. Someday when I own a house and I have limitless countertop space, I will pull it out again. But for now, I would just much rather cut them out by hand than have to keep tripping over that thing. Yeah. So you're going to see in this setup, I really had no idea what I was doing. I was just kind of winging it. I had barely a plan stepping into this because, again, I had not planned on actually creating this quarterly setup at all. In fact, I have fallen so off on all of my tracking that I have not tracked my points in I want to say a month. And that's because I got sick and I fell off of everything. So the ultimate tipping point for me making this was actually not to get a YouTube video out, because I've got plenty of other things I can share with you guys. The tipping point on this was actually me telling myself, I'm going to make it fun to get back into tracking my points. Number one, just because it helps keep me on track, but also because part of being so sick over these last couple of months, I am a month behind on my plan. And while I did manage to launch Books and Ghosts and Pixies on Toast, I will link that in the description. I was supposed to be having sent out the rough draft version of book 2 to my beta readers by now. That was the plan, but I got COVID, and then there's more traffic. I got COVID, and then I got better, and then I got pneumonia and a sinus infection, and then I got better, and then I got an ear infection that gave me vertigo. So that was wild. So I wasn't able to drive for a few days, and that was kind of intense. I've never had that before. It was weird. So anyway, it's been a really, really long couple of months and a really wild couple of months, and I have not gotten a lot done. And I'm finally catching up, and I'm finally kind of getting back into the swing of things, and it feels really good to just be moving and grooving again. And I'm back to being super productive me that I was this time last year, which was what I was banking on when I made my kind of end of the year plan. I was banking on me kind of getting that rise of energy in September that I usually do. Well, unfortunately, it's the end of September, and that's when I'm getting it because I got so sick. Yeah. So anyway, I'm excited that I'm finally getting back to work and I'm finally feeling healthier. And I'm just really, really hoping that nobody brings anything major home from school and gets everybody sick again, and I can just move forward and get stuff done. I am still hoping to be able to release book 2 by the end of October, because it is, it's another cozy mystery. It's another spooky one. So I'm hoping to be able to release that one at the end of October. But if it happens to be a couple of weeks into November, it is going to be what it's going to be. I would like to release book 2 and book 3 before the end of the year. Excuse me. But I am unlikely to get that done. Like, to be very clear with myself. Here, I love these stickers. These like stamp stickers. The first time I saw them, I was like, that is the coolest thing I think I have ever seen. And I am not like a stamp collector kind of person. But these stickers are just wild. Sorry, I totally derailed myself. But they're so cool. Figuring out how to place them on these pages with the other stickers was kind of fun. But anyway, weird side quest there. Anyway, we're about to wrap up here. And I just wanted to say and take a moment and say how much I appreciate you guys. I appreciate that you've been patient with me over the last couple of months, and hopefully we're getting back to me posting regularly again. I can talk. I really can. But anyway, just know that I appreciate you, and yeah, please like and subscribe, and I will be back next week. And then on my other channel, I had planned on putting my publishing and writing stuff over there, but that's kind of still in limbo. So we'll see. Thanks for watching.